Good afternoon. Welcome to part 3 of EnGenius Cloud webinar, how to manage on-premises network on cloud. All right. The purpose of this SkyKey is basically to allow SI to hand project to project owners or end user and apply as service maintenance to project owner. So which also require the SI to actually do remote management of the wireless access point. Take note that this is basically more beneficial because it allows the SI to actually get the project owner to fully be administrator for their own devices at the same time. So if let's say they require any assistance or help, they can actually look out for the SI and apply the service maintenance, which means that the SI themselves will have less time to actually to manage the devices, but more for troubleshooting for the project owners. All right. So as you can see, the SkyKey is both cloud-based and on-premises because it actually allows the SI to actually create a project which is solely in the cloud, and from the cloud you will be able to manage the SkyKey for the end user or the owners, which is on their premises. So not necessary that you need to have to do a remote access for the SkyKey on the premises itself, but you in fact just need to create a cloud account and register the SkyKey on the cloud. So EnSky basically allows you to have remote access to the SkyKey, which is running the Easy Master via the cloud. So you can actually use the cloud to actually manage multiple SkyKey, each project registering to their different locations or different project owners. So in this case, in this way, the main SI who have a list of multiple projects will be able to dedicate the SkyKey to the rightful project owners without them sharing their information across different projects. So in this case, in this way, the project will be deemed as very confidential between one another, and there will not be any cross-border between project owners knowing what other projects that this SI have, because you can actually allocate the administrator for the project owners via the cloud. Through the remote portal, you can actually do the assignment of the SkyKey. And this is the status page, which actually allows you to see the number of SkyKey that is registered and how many APs that is actually connected to each individual SkyKey, and what's the status of the AP, be it online or offline. Here are the license for the cloud. So for the APs, this is more for those that is SMB and enterprise license. So there's for the SMB, the license is basically data storage is only 7 days, whereas for enterprise, the data store is 1 year. So admin user maximum there's only 5, and for enterprise it's unlimited. So this is a reference for you. All right, right now we'll go into the portal and we will do the installation, how to add the SkyKey into the cloud. All right, let me share my screen. First and foremost, we need to log into the cloud. So I'll be using my account and log in to the cloud. So what is needed is basically the serial number of the SkyKey, and you need to create a project. So right now I have a few projects over here. So I might want to create a new project. All right, add an organization, maybe ABC company, and then I just create. Okay, now I have an ABC company. at the bottom, and this is the first company that I add. So I want to add the hierarchy, or I just add a new network for this ABC company known as Textile. Okay, once that is done, this is where you begin your project. So you need to click on Textile and you register the the sky key. So what you need is basically the sky key. Let me show you how to actually add. So bear in mind, everything needs to be in capital letter, which is listed on the box of the sky key. And here you go. It's done. So once you have actually registered the sky key already, the next thing is that you will need to assign it to the network, which we have created just now, which is Textile. And here we apply it. Once this is done, basically you can actually go to the sky key and you will be able to see the status of the sky key over the cloud. And we'll just have to wait for it to go online. Right. So you see it takes probably about a few seconds to get online. So right now, basically the sky key is already online. So in order to get to the UI of the sky key, which is the Easy Master, you can simply click connect. And here you go. You will be linked up directly to the Easy Master. And it will redirect you directly to the Easy Master page. So over the Easy Master, the sky key will be actually assigned to the projects that you've actually, which is the project owner that you're going to put the sky key into the premises. So over here, you can also do the local to add the project so that you can start to begin adding the APs into the project owner side. So maybe this is Textile. And we apply. Okay, so right now you have actually connected the Textile. So as you can see, there's actually APs that is ready. You can simply add the APs into the project, and this will be the management of the Easy Master. All right, so we shall not deviate from the Easy Master since we have actually more on the sky key. So the benefit of this sky key, basically it allows a few things. All right, remote access. You need to enable this so that you can actually allow the EnGenius Cloud to have a remote access directly to the sky key. And next, there is a backup which allows you to do an SD card. So currently there is no SD card in the device. So you realize that it will tell you SD card is not found, but you can actually do the backup over to the SD card, which means that you can actually back it up on the SD card. If let's say there's any failure, you can actually shift it to another Easy Master and back up from that, restore the Easy Master configuration from the other on the other sky key. All right, last but not least, for remote access, you have to make sure that all this connectivity test is done, which means over at your firewall, if let's say customer is having some APs that they want to do remote management, so you must ensure that all the ports are ticked. That includes the controller port 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the most important if you need to have remote access controlling of remote APs. So this way, it will actually allows you to manage APs that is out of the premises, probably at another site. All right. If there's any questions, I'll answer it to it later part of the test. And as you can see, this basically is the management of the sky key. And do take note that the sky key is only allowed to manage 50 APs, no more than 50 APs. So do take note of that. in comparison with the Easy Master, the Easy Master can actually manage to from a few hundred to a few thousand APs. So there's a lot of there's this main difference between the Easy Master and the SkyKey. Okay, now, do you guys have any questions? Okay, there's one question coming in. If SkyKey is unplugged, what will happen to the AP? Wow, that's a very good question. As you know, the APs that we have, which is the EWS series, they are basically a hybrid, and they are thin and fat APs, which means thin, they are manageable APs. Fat means that they actually store the configurations over the AP itself. So if the SkyKey is unplugged, the AP will actually continue to function as it is, but the only thing is that you will not be able to make any changes to the AP. So the configurations of the AP will remain, but you will not be able to configure it anymore. All right, so what you need is basically to have the SkyKey to be plugged back and running, and so that you can actually use the Easy Master to configure the access point. Okay, one thing about the SkyKey is that you have to take note. We have actually do a remote access via the cloud. By itself, if you're on the local premises, you can actually use the web browser and connect it via the IP address that is assigned by the DHCP server. So as of now, you can actually go to the cloud again if you do not know which IP address you have. So let me log into my cloud one more time. All right. So from the cloud, basically you need to go to ABC Textile and go to the last tab, which is the SkyKey, and you can see the local IP address that it is being assigned. So right now, let me open up. Since I'm in the same network, I will get into the SkyKey. So similarly, the login will be the Easy Master. So if we put it this way, the default, which is admin password, you'll be able to log in to the SkyKey. So there is another way of doing a local management of the SkyKey, that is using the Tether port 8080. All right, so this is basically the back end of the SkyKey. So the login is admin password. Okay, so at this point, it will actually go into the back end of the SkyKey, which you will be able to view the serial number and everything of the SkyKey locally. So there are some local settings that you can do. Maybe the IP address you want to from DHCP and use it as a static IP. And you also can do the management VLAN tag as well. So which means if they are switched, you have actually did some VLAN, you can actually assign the management VLAN tag also. So over this place, you can also do a firmware upgrade. Okay. And the last of it is the Easy Master settings, which means you can actually replicate the Easy Master system. So how do you want to replicate? You can do a manual, which means you click manually on the replicate, or you can do a time-based, every how many minutes you actually do a replication. So the over files of the replication will be erased from backup partition automatically. So this is basically the back end local management of the SkyKey. Another question that is asked, is there fast roaming for the APs? Yes, as you can see, the APs that is being assigned in the Easy Master, if in the project, whatever you see that the APs they have on the settings, all are available. So which means fast roaming for the AP is just the settings that you need to carry out. Oh, okay, good. Another question, is it 50 AP per project or per SkyKey? All right, as I've mentioned earlier, this is 50 APs per SkyKey. It is not 50 AP per project. So do take note of this, as this is very important, that it is 50 AP per sky key. All right. Another question has been asked, can we firmware upgrade the sky key directly? Yes, you can. All right. Based on the page which I've actually sent in earlier, so this is where you can do the firmware upgrade on the local setting. So you have to be on the premises itself, get into the IP address of the sky key on the local premise. We're using port 8080 to get into this web page or GUI, and you can actually choose to firmware upgrade on the sky key directly. All right. The other method is basically to upgrade the firmware over the Easy Master itself. As you can see on this tab, the Update Easy Master or the one-click update. Will the SkyKey upgrade the firmware of the AP of different model? Yes. All right. When there's actually a one-click update, you actually choose the model of the firmware that is designated to the different models. So you don't have to worry about the AP firmware on the premises. If let's say they have few different models, they will be upgraded with the wrong firmware. That will not occur because the SkyKey or the Easy Master will assign the correct firmware to the correct product. So you don't have to actually have any concern over the firmware upgrade. But as professional, I will always suggest that you do the firmware upgrade batch by batch instead of doing all at one time. What product can be managed by the SkyKey? Okay, the SkyKey is basically using Easy Master. So what can be managed by the Easy Master are all the EWS and EAP APs. So you do not have to think of the cloud because the cloud basically have a different platform of itself. So take note of all this, and this will actually allows you to understand the SkyKey. All right, SkyKey basically is a on-premise product, but it allows you to use the cloud to manage the SkyKey and access the Easy Master via cloud itself. So you not necessarily have to do the port forwarding or whatsoever to actually remote into the SkyKey. Okay, if there's no further questions, I think I've come to the end of this webinar. And thank you guys for all your attendance and your listening here. Okay, see ya. Bye-bye.